Hey, how you doing? This is John with Eminent Domain. I'm over here bringing you another video. This time I'm bringing you a how-to video. With this how-to video, um, for the most part, what I'm going to be doing is showing you how I'm going to make my new St. Patrick's Lucky Coin. And in order to do that, I have to go through a few basics and all that good stuff. So here we go. So for the most part, I want to create a circle. Go down right here to the circle tab in my toolboxes. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. This can get a little tricky. So what you want to do is let it go. Alright. So now what you want to do is, make sure you click. There we go. Now what I want to do is I want to go and fill it. So I'm going to go ahead and press enter. And by me pressing enter, is it filled it with what you see in front of you. But for the most part, I don't like that color. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go over to threads right here. It's actually already up. So I clicked it and it disappeared. Click it again and it reappeared. All right. And I want to look at some of these goldish type colors. And as I look through them, the ones that I kind of see in front of me, I think I want to go with this sunshine. Is a chord. Yeah, I think that would be nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that one. Now, the next thing I want to do is click on select. Because sometimes if you don't click on a select, it can cause some issues. Your screen will travel up, travel down, left, right. Trust me, it's this every time you want to switch tools or you want to reselect something, just click on the select cursor button and it will save you a lot of pain. One thing I've learned. Alright, so with that being said, I want to add the word lucky to my coin right here. So what I'm going to do is go over to the toolboxes right here where it says lettering, monogramming. Click on that. Click on lettering. As you can see right here, it brings up this object property screen. And I'm going to scroll this up some. And in this box, you could type in a lettering you would like to add to your design. So I'm going to, in all caps, type the word lucky. With that particular color. And then later on, I can always change it to a different color. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, I wanted this to be at the bottom of my coin, way down here. And then what I want to do is, I want to, make it a little bit larger. So the easiest way for me to make this larger is you see this right here? Now, let me explain this. If I click on it, this is different from resizing. Alright, this is way different from resizing, and I'll show you. It rotates it. Alright, so when you see that these boxes on the side are, pretty much blank on the inside, that means that you're rotating it. You're not actually, resizing it. But if you click on it again and you see that the box is filled with a solid color, then then you can resize it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Control Z to take it back to my original, take the word back to the original state. I'm going to hold Shift so I can maintain, pretty much, I forget what you call it. Well, in a word, I don't want to distort the word. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to expand it without distorting it. And as you can see, it expanded. All right. So I expanded it a little large, pretty much where the words are starting to stick outside of the coin. And I did that for a reason. Because what I want to do next is I pretty much want the word to form a crescent. All right. So I went over here. If you go into your object property screen right here and click right here where it says circle CCW, I click on that. As you can see, what happened to the word lucky kind of gave me that crescent look with the word. All right. So I bring it up and kind of like it like that. All right. I could always reposition it later, but I know later on I'm going to create an outline around this, and I don't want the word to interfere with the outline, so that's why I kind of brought it up a little. Now, what I want to do now is I clicked on a word, and I want to change it to a green. All right, that says navy. So what I'm going to do is go over to my threads menu right here, and as you can see right here, it's kind of like a color coder. And I clicked in like the greenish section, and then I'm gonna look for the perfect green, something that really represents St. Patrick's Day. So I kind of that emerald green. I kind of like that emerald right there. All right, so I'm gonna go with that. All right, likey likey. All right, so now I have the word lucky there. And it's one other thing that I would like to add to this coin, and I think I want to do a four-leaf clover. So in order to get that in, I actually created a picture through Photoshop that I would like to use. So now I'm just going to bring it in to this my embroidery um, software and digitize it so I could change it into actual embroidery file. All right. So in order to do that, I want to go to artwork, insert artwork. So I click on that, and then I'm going to look for the picture that I named four leaf clover 2 right there. And I press open. Now as you can see, it kind of appeared behind my already made design. So what I'm going to do is, oops, did not mean to do that. What I'm going to do is see if I can pull it from behind there. And it doesn't want to disappear. Alright, so what I might have to do is get a little bit closer. There we go. Alright, so as you can see, sometimes, oh, and if you didn't see what I just did, I used the wheel on my mouse to zoom in and out. That's probably the easiest way, because with this program, it doesn't allow you to zoom in and out easily. It's not like, you have the shortcuts that you do with other programs, like the control minus control plus. Although, yeah, I tried and nothing. All right. So, yeah, with the wheel mouse, as long as your cursor is in the direction where you want the screen to go, then it would make it a lot easier for you to use the cursor. In this case, I'm going to put my cursor on a picture, use my mouse wheel to zoom in, and there we go. So in order to change this into something I can use for my new patch, what I have to do now is I'm going to go to Auto Digitize, which is also in your toolbox's menu. Now, you can auto digitize it, but let me tell you, when I do any of these auto digitizing, it doesn't work out the way I want. I always have to go back and do a lot of changing. And it doesn't put it always in the order in which you would like to see, like say the outline or, the thread direction, etc. So can it work for certain situations? Definitely. But for me, I'd rather go to the click to fill, because that gives me the option to control in so many ways how I want it to look. All right, so with the click to fill, so what I want to do now is I'm going to click on the actual picture. Clicked on the picture, as you can see, there are 8 colors. You want to reduce the colors to the colors that you only need. Like, I don't need white, gray, all these colors right here. I will need the black, and I don't need all these shades of green. So I'm going to press this down arrow right here, lower the count of the colors to 3. Alright. Oops, there we go. 3. Because I want to keep that black. Alright, because the black will form my outline. Now, as far as the embroidery details, I keep everything else the same. I don't make any other changes except for reducing the color. Alright, or the colors. Press OK. And then now, as you can see, with my cursor, I go to each section in my picture, and it shows like this kind of like grid area. Now, let me tell you, start with the areas that are not an outline, or you don't want to make an outline. So you're looking for the areas that you want to fill. So I am going to fill right here. All right. I'm going to fill right here. So pretty much like the green areas. I'm going to fill right here. Going to fill within there and right here as well. All right. So as you can see, now this is my four-leaf clover. All right. Now what I want to do next is I want to go to click to outline. And by me clicking the outline, you need to look for that gridded area within the cracks. All right. Click there. As you can see, I got my outline. Now, with that being said, before I do anything, I'm going to go back up here and press the select cursor right here. And then I want to click on my outline. All right. The reason being is because I don't want to do a single run. I want to do a triple run. All right. Now, looking at this triple run, I'm going to stick with this. Oh, actually, no. I want to click on each section. And as you click on a particular section, you will see like this object's property menu change, and it's only specific for that section that you click on. So instead of doing a tatami, I'm going to change it to a satin. I think satin would look a whole lot better when it comes to that. So I'm going to do each section. As you see, I clicked on each section, and that particular object's property menu will pop up for that section only. Then I'm going to do the same thing right here. Not the outline, so be careful when you're selecting, because sometimes you can select the outline and it don't be the one that you really want. But you can tell by the object property menu, because the outline and the fill have two different object property menu selections. Alright, so now here we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out. Now, let me say this. What you need to do next is group everything right here. But the one thing you don't want to group is the picture. And that picture is still within your layers menu. So in order to get there, you want to go over here, look at my cursor, go all the way to your right side right here where it says sequence. Click on sequence. Then I'm going to scroll all the way up to the top, because usually it's like the first picture on your sequence menu. I'm going to click on it. I'm just going to go ahead and press delete. Delete. Now, I'm just left with the object that I want to use, or objects, because it's multiple objects. I'm going to pretty much drag my cursor, form a rectangular box around my four-leaf clover design, so I can select all pieces. As you can see, by me doing that, I select almost all the pieces. It's going to select everything. So let me try this again. Click out of it. I'm going to go a little bit further so I can actually get the entire object. There we go. Now, as you can see, all these pieces are surrounded in black boxes. Except for my lucky in that one, because I didn't do my cursor. I didn't drag my cursor around those objects. So what I'm going to do is, you follow my cursor to the top. I'm going to press on group. By me pressing on group, that will make sure that my pieces stay together. So if you're working in between menus, make sure anytime you want to use your mouse wheel, click on the screen, especially if you're trying to zoom in and out like this, because otherwise it only works, your mouse will be only controlling the last menu that you were working in. Alright, so now what I want to do is, I'm going to bring this over some. I'm going to take my my cursor, bring it over to the center. I'm going to drop my four-leaf clover in the center of my coin. Now what I want to do is I'm going to zoom in with my mouse wheel. But to make this a lot more visible, I want to minimize these screens. So in order to minimize, I go right here where it says hide. As you can see, the tab will come back to the side right here. Give you a lot more space to work on this canvas. Alright, so now I want to expand this. I'm going to make this a lot larger, and since it's still grouped together, and make it a lot easier to do all the pieces, will pretty much stay in proportion. Alright, so I drag the corner piece to expand it a little. I'm going to do a little bit more, make it a little bit bigger, because I don't need a big old huge gold coin. I want to see a little bit of the design. Alright, maybe I went a little too big with that. Let me make it a little bit smaller. Alright, I could go with that. But you know what? I'm kind of liking this green more than I'm liking that green. So I think I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to switch this green because it's number 17. It will tell you, like right now, I know within this picture, these two are surrounded in the black boxes. It's because this design that I selected has these two colors. Alright? So I know 17 is the greenest in this one, but I have 16 right here, which is this lucky. Alright? I'm going to switch that one to 17. And to do that, you just click on it. Alright? Now, by me doing that, as you can see, it switched the color. Now, the next thing I noticed was I wasn't really happy with how the lettering looks. So in order for me to change the font on a letter, still, I clicked the word, or the lettering, I should say. I clicked the word, and I'm going over to the lettering menu, which actually I don't need to do. I just need to get here. Go over to the object properties menu, click on lettering right here, and right here you'll see like the font. Click on that, and I want to use something that, I don't know, something that seems to be, that go with the theme of St. Patrick's Day. So, oh, that looks a little fancy. Let's see. No, I'm not feeling that one. Alright, let's see. Let's try this one. Nope, not feeling that one either. Alright. You may have to go through a few of these. Not feeling that. And once you find the one that you really want, then stick with it and move on. But I'm going to play with this one for a second. I think, yes, I like this one because it seemed like it would be something dealing with like leprechaun lettering, something of the sort. But anywho, how am I lettering the way I want it? My four-leaf clover design down. The next thing I am going to do is I want to create, you know how like most coins have like that little rim around it? I kind of want to create that effect. And by it being a patch, it should have something of like an outline around the patch as well. So in order for me to create that, I like to click on this circle right here, just to make sure that that's the only object that's going to receive that outline. Next thing I want to do is go over to my toolboxes menu. That I'm going to go to create layout. And create layout, as bring your cursor down, is right here, create outlines and offsets. If you click on that, this menu will pop up. Object outlines, make sure you have that checked. Alright. Just depends on which one you want to do. For me, I'm going to be doing, my type will be a satin stitch. Alright. And for my outline. So I'm going to use a satin outline. Click on that. And I'm going to change the color a little later. So I'm not really worried about the color right now. I can always change that easily. Right here, now with that being said, click right here for round corners, because if you click the other ones, it creates a funky corner wherever there's a bend or whatever. So I always click on this just to be safe. Include hose. We don't have any hose within our design. So I am going to check that off. Press OK. Now, as you can see, it created the outline. Now, what I want to do is click select. By me clicking select, I like to click outside of the design. So, oops. So I know when I click on the design, I'm clicking the exact object within our design that I want. So now what I want to do is go to design information, not really design information. I'm looking for my objects menu again, so give me 1 second. There we go. Alright, so alright, so there we go. Yeah, sometimes you just have to double click on it because I don't know why it disappeared, but I've got it back. Alright, so now I already have my outline selected. It's set at a triple run, but I want to do a satin, which I thought I originally set it for. But I'm doing a satin. As you can see, it formed the satin. Now, what I want to do is, one, get rid of auto split, because sometimes with the auto split, it makes things look a little funky. And you don't really need an auto split, at least when it comes to the outline, all right, or this particular design. So I got rid of my auto split. I'm going to keep the center normal, all right. I'm going to do, I'm going to keep it at auto spacing. Oops, as you can see, this is what happens when you don't click on the menu you want to actually work with. So I'm going to click on that menu so I know that my wheel is working there. Oops, still did it again. Alright, so now we got the satin. Now what I want to do with this is make sure that all, so like if you go to, and let me explain this. This is the object properties menu. This is the stitching menu. For an outline where you're doing an outline like this, the only thing you really need as an underlay is a center run. Alright, you don't need another underlay for this. As far as my pull compensation, um, technically I'm going to keep this selected, but the pull compensation is like, say for example, you're trying to, pretty much make up for, you're trying to keep everything balanced, especially with your bobbing thread. So that pull compensation come in handy when it comes to creating like the 3D foam. Uh, you know, when you're dealing with like some tougher fabrics. Um, but later on, I create a video that probably explain the pull compensation. But with that being said, you know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and deselect that because I really don't need the pull compensation for this one. And this I will explain at a later time. But let me go ahead and finish the design, and then I will come back to this. But just wanted you all to go through it. Right here, as you can see, is where you could do the effects with the outline. So if you wanted to have on one side kind of like that little jagged edge, or on both sides a little jagged edge, you could go through that gradient fill or some other things. I don't use this, at least not yet. I just got to get a little bit better at this program, and maybe I'll find some excuse to use it. But that being said, I think I'm okay for now. The only thing I want to do is increase the width. So I'm going to increase it to 0.1. Let's see where that takes me. Not giving me the effect that I want. Let's go 0.3. Ooh, 0.3, that's way too big. So I'm going to go 0.125. 0.125 isn't bad. So I think I will stick with that 0.125. And then along with that, I want to change the color. So I'm going to change it to the same color like my coin. Alright? And it looks like it's almost two different colors, only because this is satin, this is a tatami stitch. Now I do want to come back here. With the tatami stitch, I think I need to change some of the settings, and the pattern I could kind of change too. I also can change the direction on which the thread is being sewn. But if I do this, as you can see, it kind of changed up the appearance slightly. If I go with 2, the same thing, alright? But I kind of like how 3 is kind of looking right now. It almost looks like it's going along like it's countering the satin direction. Alright. So with that being said, I think I'm pretty much done with how I want the design to look. I don't think I got to make any more corrections. I think everything looks pretty good. Alright, so now what I want to do is I want to go and fix some of my properties, but the main thing I want to do is make sure I don't have any issues when it comes to sewing on top of other thread. So what I want to do is I'm going to click this design right here. Alright, and I want to go to edit objects within a toolbox right now. And what I like to do is come right here and click remove overlaps. This will remove any overlapping thread that can potentially cause any issues. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. I had my 4-leaf clover selected and I clicked remove overlaps. Now I'm gonna right click on here, hide selected. As you can see, it removed some of the thread that was underneath. Alright, this will save you some broken needles, jamming threads, all that type of stuff, because plus even save you thread because you don't need that much thread on top of this. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is right click again on hide all, and it's back. Alright. I'm going to do the same thing with the lettering. So I'm going to click on the lettering, remove overlap. Alright. Then I'm going to do the same thing with my outline, remove overlap. Now, what I also like to do is I like to go right here and click true view. By me clicking on a true view, and I'm going to use my mouse wheel to zoom in. As you can see where your thread is going to be penetrating in the design. So you can see where the design, where I kind of removed the overlapping design thread that was underneath. You can see where the 4-leaf clover thread is going to enter, and you can see it is contacting a little bit of the tatami stitch that's underneath. All right, which is okay. You just don't want it to, do it the entire time, and start jamming up often. I have done it this way, and it has not jammed as much. I had some issues, but I got it back on track. All right, so now what I want to do is come over here to this. As you can see, even though I offset my outline, you can see what the tummy thread and the satin thread is overlapping right here. Now it's really only overlapping on one side, which is okay, alright? Because sometimes you don't want to have like that space in between your designs, because if it's like that, like, you can see that gap, it may not look make your design look as nice. But with that being said, I think I am going to be happy with the way this turned out so far. Now, I'm going to go and click on True View again, take that off, and I think I'm pretty happy with what I see in front of me. What I want to do is go through each component in my design, and I want to make sure that my object properties are okay. So I'm going to click on my outline first. As you saw, I went and clicked outside of the design, clicked on the outline, satin, auto spacing, which is okay for now. Like sometimes or before, I have, and I wanted to make it more denser. So in order for me to make it more denser, I lowered this count, and it made it more dense. Alright, I increased my width of my outline, and I kept it as normal. So I'm okay with that. I don't need any effects. Alright, so I'm going to leave this tab alone. I'm not going to touch it, but I am going to go to the stitching. And this is where I need to decide how I want my design to stitch. Alright, so overall, I have the underlay right here, the center run. That's perfect. That's all you need for an outline. Alright, I removed the pull compensation. And right here, I did tie in. Well, this is default. Tie in before object, tie off after object, automatic trims on if next connect. Okay, if it doesn't make sense to you, let me explain a little bit. It really, to this day, don't make the most sense to me. I have read a lot of things about it. I know it deals with the order and particular machines, but let me also say this. Certain machines don't even follow this. The tie in, the tie off, all this. I played around with this. I followed some of what other people told me, and for the PE 800, the brother embroidery machine, nah. All right. So for the most part, I still kind of do it because you just never know. But with my tie-in, since this is going to be, and let me explain it now. Since this is the first object on here, all right, it's on the outside. This is where you need to make the decision. Do you want this to be the first thing to begin embroidering? All right, you want it to be your outline. me personally, I would not make this the first one. And since it's not the first object to start getting embroidered, I would turn off this. Because all this is saying is, okay, so when it begins to sew, as you see your needle go up and down as it starts to sew in that same spot, it's creating a knot so it can lock that thread within the material that you're using. In this case, since that's not the first object that's going to be sewn, and you kind of want your sewing to be continuous, unless you have you stopping it in between. But even with that, a lot of people don't like to see that knot, that tie-in knot. All right, because most of the time that tend to appear on top of your design, especially in wording. You kind of see it as a little bit, it's a knot there. But in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it off. All right. To tie off after an object, since this is probably, for me, probably going to be the last thing that I sew, I'm going to keep this on. Automatic trims. Yeah, I don't mess with the automatic trims. All right. So I leave the automatic trims in this case alone. And then the auto jump. Honestly, you don't need an auto jump for this one. All right. So I went ahead and turned that one off. Now I'm gonna click outside my design, and I'm gonna click on the tatami um, area right here. Go to fill. I got my pattern number 3 selected, tatami. All right, the spacing is fine. I'm not going to mess with the spacing, and the length is okay. Most of the time, it sets it up perfectly for you just to go ahead and like you could pretty much just make minor changes. This depends on your preference. With the effects, I'm not going to do anything with the effects because I like how the effects are going right now. All right. With the stitching, now with this one, with the pull compensation, I don't think I really need a pull compensation. All right, so I'm going to deselect that. And then I was messing with the tie-in, since this is the first thing that I'm going to be embroidering. The tie-in should be on in this case. The tie-off should be off. Automatic trim should be on. The auto jump I could take off because I don't really need an auto jump. All right. Now for the 4-leaf clover design. So now I have the 4-leaf clover design. Actually, click out, click in, just to be sure. All right. So let's go to the fill. Still a satin. Manual spacing. You don't need. Actually, in this case, you want the auto split because the auto split will give it. I mean, if you don't want the auto split, this is how it will look. But if you want the auto split, for me, I rather have an auto split because it creates that kind of like that wavy design within the embroidery. All right. So in this case, I will keep the auto split. My outline, with the outline, it's a triple run, which I'm perfectly fine with. It's not adding too much to the outline, and it's actually showing off the clover design. So I actually do like that. I don't need any effects. As far as the stitching, in this case, the program said no underlay, so I'm gonna go with that. No underlay. Pull compensation, I'm gonna keep it like that. Since this is about the third or the second thing technically. No tie-in, so that's off. No tie off, because I'm pretty sure moving to the next design. Automatic trim, I'm gonna leave alone. No automatic jump. All right. And then the next thing is the wording. So now with the wording, got lucky. I'm not going to mess with the lettering anymore because everything here I already did when I initially created the word and looked for the font. So let's go to the fill. It's going to be a satin fill. For wording, you really just want to do a satin fill. You don't want to do anything else because otherwise the words may not be, you probably can't read the words, or, they're There are cases where you have to use these other stitch types, but in this case, when you're working with skinny or small letters, you want to do a satin. The effects I don't need in this case, and the stitching. Alright, so again, this is one of the last things. For the words, you do want to do a center run underlay. Pull compensation, I'm going to leave it like that. The tie-in is off. Tie off, I'm going to keep it like that. Automatic trims on. The auto jump for the words, I'm going to leave on because it will jump to certain particular spots depending on how the thread is set up. Alright, now I'm not the best at this, but if you click on True View, you can kind of see where your thread will begin, where it ends, where it connects to the next thing, how it was sew. And also, if you kind of want to see how it was sew on True View, if you go over here to the stitch player, you click on it, it will start sewing it for you. So as you can see, this is what happens when you click on a player. It actually shows you the pattern in which it sews. Alright, so right now it's doing it to Tommy, and it's doing it around the part where we remove the overlaps for the 4-leaf clover. It's this will be the underlay. Alright, so if you look right here, this is kind of like how you control where in the design is sewing. Alright, so all this is the yellow, this is the tatami, the pretty much the gold piece in the coin. So I could fast forward it like this. As you can see, this is how everything is being created as I fast forward it. Still going through the sewing. Alright, and as I get to the green, there you go, it's starting with the letters. Alright, so as you can see, with the letters, it's doing everything that's green. Now it's going to the 4-leaf clover. Then the last thing it's going to do is the outline. Now remember I told you that I kind of want to do this part last, but now as I think about it, at the tatami, I can do this one because it's the same thread color, and it's not going to interfere with any other parts in the design. So it is okay to do it right after you do the tatami portion of the coin. Alright, and then the green is all one, and then the black. So if you're not really liking the sequence of your design in which everything is being embroidered, what you can do is you go over to sequence, and you can reorder everything here. So as you can see, I got my tatami design right here. Then it's the outline. Then it's the letters. Then it's the 4-leaf clover parts. Alright, as you can see, the green. And then after the green is done, then it goes to the outline, which is the black. Alright. And with that being said, depending on the colors, the threads, oops, I mean that. So if you go to sequence and then you go to colors, you see I have 1, 17, 18. That means that my machine is going to stop after complete each color. So after it does all this gold right here, it's going to stop and prompt me to put in the green thread. And then after I do that, it's going to stop and prompt me to put in the black thread. And then I'm done. Alright. That is my true leprechaun St. Patrick's lucky coin. Alright. So now, with that being said, what I need to do is finalize what I'm going to do. In order to do that, I'm going to go to File, Save Design As, and then I'm going to put something quick, oops, I forgot I have all caps on, St. Patrick Day Lucky Coin. Then I'm going to save it as a Wilcom all-in-one design file first. I know this says recover right here, and you can also always move it to like embroidery. I don't see the actual file where I tend to save everything myself, but you know, like I said, Um, Somewhere within the embroidery program, you can save your file. It'll be okay. So I'm gonna take it back to this. Actually, I do have everything saved in my backup, so it will be fine. I'm going ahead and save it there, and it's saved. But in order to get it over to your embroidery machine, the best way to do that is, there are multiple ways, but for me, I go to File, I go down to Export Design. All right. From there, since I have a brother embroidery machine, a PE800, I have my brother save as type. Um, this, selected, and my machine uses the PES files. So I have that selected. File name is still the same. Click Save, and usually I have it on a USB drive, but I am going to go ahead and save it within my machine files, and there we go. So now that is the patch that I am going to create and place on my website. So for the most part, if you like this design, if you like, the process and the love and attention that I put into it, go ahead, make sure you purchase it for St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to change it into a heat applied patch. So with a heat applied patch, you can just iron it on to anything that you would like, a hat, backpack, jacket, clothing, whatever. All right. So feel free to like and subscribe, share, buy, all that. Just support Eminent Domain. For the most part, try to build up my clients. So hopefully you all will enjoy this video.